yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab it and taste it.
It is a good day, people. It is a good day. The sun is shining. The sun is shining. The birds are chirping. And we are slowly coming around to that oh-so warm spring weather. And I love it. It is a great time to be in New Jersey at this very moment because we are headed down the road to spring and summer. And in case you have not already checked your calendar, I would like to remind each and every single one of you that it's Saturday, and you know what that means. We're live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the greatest fucking show on earth as we are streaming live on 4 different platforms across 5 different accounts. And yes, you heard me correctly, 5 different accounts. Ladies and gentlemen, I come with a little bit of a bittersweet announcement. As of this weekend, I am no longer a member of Hardcore Sports. I recently just spoke to Mitch Kovsky and AK Eagles. Shout out to them. And they told me that they are going through a reinnovation and they are looking to be a football-heavy channel going forward. Obviously, the NFL does not start until September, but we got the UFL starting up. So we're going to have ourselves a spring football league going forward. And it seems as though it is going to be a very football-centered channel going forward into the future for Hardcore Sports. I would like to thank AK Eagles. I would like to thank Mitch Kovsky. I would like to thank Tyler Schlendorn. I would like to thank Philly Halftime. I would like to thank Mac, the Giants fan, and all of the people over at Hardcore Sports for all of the support throughout the years. I greatly appreciate it. It definitely means a lot. Thank you for giving me the platform for the last nearly 2 years to do what I do, have some fun, get my name out there, get the brand out there. It is very, 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 very rare that I come across an opportunity like that in which I'm able to grow and expand from that. But now I am off to doing bigger and better things. Now I can get back to doing what I normally do, what I do best. I'm a lone sailor. I sail the 7 seas alone. And when it comes down to it, there ain't no one, and I mean ain't no one, that can do what I do at the fucking level that I do. Bar no one. But as of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn X, formerly known as Twitter, handle, no. Stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. I want you to take a nice big inhale. You already know what time it is, people. I want you to hit that inhale like, oh. You got to hit it a second time. So nice. It is so nice that you got to do it twice. So people, if you will, please join me in going, Oh, you gotta hit that hat trick, baby. You did it once, you did it twice. Let me see you hit that hat trick. I want you to inhale with me and get that scent running through your lungs. And I want you to go, oh, shit. Do you smell that? Oh my God, that is succulent. That is tasty. You know what that is, people? Do you know what that is? That right there is the smell of pure motherfucking excellence. You already know the drill. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. Oh yeah, baby. I'm on fire. On the grind all the time, because that is what I do. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already realized, this is the first, well, I should say the last. I don't know why I said the first. I think I'm still thinking ahead towards April. This is the last Lightning Flash update for the month of March, as we are headed towards a brand new month. And next week starts up quite a busy schedule for me. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 streams in a row. 5 streams in a row for WrestleMania weekend. And it is going to be one of the biggest weekends for the DJ Storms brand ever, as we are celebrating 40 years of WrestleMania. In addition to that, happy Easter weekend, everyone. This is Holy Saturday. Tomorrow is Easter Sunday, and I am looking to relax, spend some time with my family. But before we get to the relaxation of Easter Sunday and the celebration of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ rising from the dead, we got ourselves an action-packed edition of the greatest motherfucking show on earth. And as you can see up top, it says, "In Storms we trust." Because if it ain't DJ Storms, it ain't trustworthy. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, thank you very much for all of the support. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. But now it is time to get down to business. Please make sure, if you have not already done so, please go and follow me on all platforms of social media. You can see them right down below. You can follow me on X and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. One more time, at HistoryMakerDJS, both on X and Instagram. You can also add me on my personal Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. Please make sure that you send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of the links are in the description of this very video. It is very, very vital that you come on down, show some support, and share the stream out on all platforms of social media. Please make sure you share it out, whether it be on X, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, all we want is to make sure that everyone gets their fix. Everyone needs to get their fill of DJ Storms. And yes, I am very much aware. I believe Erin Blanchfield, she's going to be fighting in New Jersey because she has turned into an absolute fucking beast. And I mean a beast in the octagon. So shout out to Erin Blanchfield. She's doing some good shit. And I'm very, very happy to see her achieving great success in the world of MMA and UFC. She continues to get better with each and every single match that she competes in. And I continue to get better with every single stream I stream. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure, if you haven't already done so, to hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching on my YouTube channel, or you can go and like my personal Facebook page, or you can go and follow me on Rumble. We're live on Rumble right now as well. We're looking to build a nice, solid fan base over on Rumble. We're also streaming live on X. And then, of course, we're streaming live on the DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. Please make sure that you share out the stream on all platforms. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching on my YouTube. And most important thing, hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you are going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube. And you know why? Because it is the only time that you are going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combo and this beautiful mustache right here. You already know what time it is, people. I just got to find it. I just got to find it. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Look at it. What does it say? You know what that says? That says ace, because I am the ace of the IWC. Hold on. I gotta do something right here. I gotta. Oh, my God. I gotta blow on it because it is hot. It is sizzlating. We're gonna let it up right here on the show, on the greatest motherfucking show on earth, with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like hot, freshly made chicken noodle soup from scratch, maybe with a side of potato salad, because Lord knows that I love my home style potato salad. I am just so good. And by the way, I do have some custom combs coming. So if you guys want some custom combs, be sure to hit me up and I will put you down for some. I'm going to be selling them for $3 plus shipping. The custom combs will be coming in, and you're going to have that phrase, good, written on the comb. So set your money aside for a quality DJ Storms comb. You already know I'm the most scrumptious snack in the IWC, because everybody, and I mean everybody, wants a piece of the Storms Meister. Anyway, enough of the self-brand promotion, the advertisements. Why don't we get straight into the festivities here? We got ourselves some news, rumors, and reports to go over. Fightful. They were told a little story regarding Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes, if you saw Carmelo Hayes, he was brought up to the main roster a couple of months back, where he had a brief little stint where he was competing on SmackDown and he was competing in the Royal Rumble. And then he seemingly went back down to NXT to continue his feud and storyline with one Trick Williams. And now they are main eventing NXT Stand and Deliver, which, by the way, is fucking stupid that they're main eventing over the NXT Championship. I'm sorry. That is not something that I can get behind. I'm sure John Blaine, by the way, happy belated birthday to John Blaine. John Blaine, he's going to be coming on my show next week. Next Thursday, he'll be coming on my show, The Rundown, for Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and NXT Stand and Deliver. And we are going to be discussing what is going down on those two shows. We're going to be previewing and predicting everything. He is going to join me, and he has got his own opinions to share. He says that it is the right move that Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are main eventing Stand and Deliver. Let me tell you something. I think John Blaine is a great guy, but he's wrong on this one. But we'll go in depth on that next week. But Carmelo Hayes, he had a brief little stint on the main roster before he was sent back down to NXT to finish up his feud with Trick Williams. And according to Fightful, Carmelo Hayes has been set for a main roster call-up since prior to the Royal Rumble in January. Hayes is actually expected to move up to the main roster full-time shortly after Stand and Deliver. Now, this is something that I kind of expected. The thing is, though, I'm not sure where Carmelo Hayes is going to go on the main roster right now. Because as we speak right now, it seems as though all the championship title pictures are occupied. You take a look at the U.S. title picture, I don't see Logan Paul losing at WrestleMania. I see LA Knight being the guy to take it off of him, although it's actually a huge missed opportunity that they're not doing LA Knight versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I'm still pissed about that, but we could possibly see that at Backlash. And if LA Knight wins the U.S. title, what's going to happen with Carmelo Hayes? Carmelo Hayes, I'm not sure if WWE really knows how to build solid undercard programs. I really don't. You take a look at the undercard on WWE, and nearly everything in the undercard feels unimportant. It wasn't like that back in the fall. In the fall, we had multiple things, both in the main event scene and in the undercard, that felt important across Raw and SmackDown. But it's almost like ever since WrestleMania season began, and I've talked about this before, this year's WrestleMania season has been completely lackluster. Listen, if you've enjoyed it, God bless you. If you've enjoyed it, God bless you. You can enjoy whatever the fuck you want, but that doesn't mean that it's good. I'm here to tell you whether it's truthfully or factually good. Call me a narcissist, I don't give a fuck. Call me closed-minded, I don't give a fuck. I can see what others can't see, and I know what others don't know. That's why I am the best of the best when it comes to wrestling analytics. Because no one does what I do. Everyone operates with a bias. I don't operate with a bias. I don't share opinions. I spit facts. That's why I'm here and you're not. WrestleMania season has been truthfully and factually boring. Outside of The Rock, Cody, Roman, and Seth, and the mega tag team match that they got going on WrestleMania night number 1. Everything else has felt blah. Just watch SmackDown last night. SmackDown last night, that was legitimately the first SmackDown, not even bullshitting you, the first SmackDown that they put any effort into the rest of the card. Whether it be Styles and LA Knight, whether it be Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, Dominic Mysterio, and Dragon Lee, whether it be the 6-woman tag now with Jade Cargill involved, or Bayley and Io, or the tag team title situation and the big 6-pack ladder match that they got going on. Last night's show was the first show that WWE put any effort into anything other than the main matches. Which realistically, if you want to be quite honest with you, even the main matches don't feel that important. The 2 world title matches at WrestleMania are complete fucking afterthoughts. And that's sad. So I'm not sure where Carmelo Hayes is going to go. Because Carmelo Hayes is not going to be in the main event scene. He's not going to be a champion within a couple of months. He's not. That's not the WWE way. That realistically, that's not the pro wrestling way at all. It's a very, very rare occasion where you can put a championship on someone right out of the gate. In this case, Kazuchika Okada over in AEW, he was the exception to that. But it's a very rare occasion that you can do something like that. You can't do that on a consistent basis because it's not going to seem fair to the other members of the roster. You can't do that. But as far as Carmelo Hayes goes, listen, if they were to put a championship on him in a couple months, I wouldn't bat an eye because Carmelo Hayes is great. But what is Carmelo Hayes going to be doing on SmackDown after he gets called up? I don't really have an answer for you. The only thing that I could honestly see him doing, and they could potentially be slotting this man into a Dolph Ziggler role, is feud with AJ Styles. Styles could very well become the new Dolph Ziggler, a guy that's just there to put people over. Now, I think that Styles and Carmelo Hayes would put on a fantastic program. But at the end of the day, is that really going to help Carmelo Hayes in the long run? It could, but what's going to happen after AJ Styles? What are you going to do? You're going to have Carmelo Hayes go back and feud with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller? It's rather unpredictable, the future for WWE. Very unpredictable, and I don't like that. With WWE, coming out of 2023, we kind of had a good direction where they were going into 2024. And then after the Royal Rumble, everything just kind of got mixed up. Everything got turned around 180 degrees, and they went in completely different directions. Now we don't really have a clear-cut vision as to where WWE is going into the post-WrestleMania season. I don't know where Carmelo Hayes is going to go, but listen, I wish the best for him. He should be on the main roster. But I'm just afraid that he's going to end up like Cameron Grimes. Where the fuck is Cameron Grimes? Cameron Grimes is one of the most underrated professional wrestlers on the fucking planet right now. And what is he doing? When was the last time he actually appeared on TV? 3 months ago? 4 months ago? Sorry, I can't get behind that. Killer Kelly. Killer Kelly. Killer Kelly is, she's something all right. She's something all right. She's got a tag team with Marsha Slamovic going on, and Killer Kelly seems to have a lot of people drooling over her. Rightfully so. PW Insider falsely reported that Killer Kelly was finished with TNA. So PW Insider, they did not look too good this week. PW Insider looked like a bunch of fucking idiots. Fightful contradicted this report, and they stated that Killer Kelly is still with Total Nonstop Action, according to their sources within the company. And they were told that Killer Kelly is just taking time off going into the future. She is still under contract with the promotion until the summer of 2025. And you know what? It's a good thing that she is, because they need someone like a Killer Kelly. They need someone like a Killer Kelly because as we speak right now, Impact has got nothing going for it. Impact, as soon as they came back, as soon as TNA resurrected itself from the ashes, it's almost as if immediately they were dead within 4 weeks of the new year. And now they have absolutely no momentum. People were saying that it's the most TNA thing that could have ever happened to TNA. Can't really sit here and disagree with that. So Killer Kelly, she is still under contract, and she will be under contract until the summer of 2025. Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland, he is on NXT. He's been on NXT going forward. If you don't watch NXT, I don't blame you. It's the worst fucking brand in the industry. Although, I guess I can't really shit on NXT all too much, because NXT has actually had the best thing in the entire WWE going for itself as we head into WrestleMania weekend. I'm not even going to bullshit you. The best thing on WWE TV right now is the Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams feud. That storyline, which has been building since the summer of last year, it's their own personal bloodline storyline. That storyline with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams has legitimately been the best thing on WWE TV all fucking year. No joke. But Ridge Holland, he has been embroiled in a couple of undercard feuds with Gallus and then the returning Shawn Spears. Ridge Holland apparently retired from in-ring competition. According to Fightful Select, WWE NXT sources confirmed that Ridge Holland's retirement promo on NXT TV this week was a part of a storyline. This has actually been a story that Holland has been motivated to do, and there is no pushback from him or creative as it relates to this specific direction for his character. Now, I thought Ridge Holland was great with the Brawling Brutes. I really did. Ridge Holland with the Brawling Brutes, with Pete Dunne when he was Butch and Sheamus when he was there. I don't even know where the fuck Sheamus is. He's been on the shelf since August. He was legitimately Adam Copeland's last match in WWE before Adam Copeland went over to AEW. According to Fightful, the whole retirement promo was a storyline. It's all part of an angle. Now, I don't mind Ridge Holland being in NXT and being a part of this retirement angle, although I'm not really sure where this is going. It doesn't really feel all that exciting, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And the crowd, even though the NXT crowd kind of pops for anything, it doesn't really feel like anyone's connecting with Ridge Holland. It really doesn't. Ridge Holland, he's not a single star. He's not. Ridge Holland is not a single star. Ridge Holland, all I look at when I look at Ridge Holland is a tag team wrestler in the Brawling Brutes. That's all I see. It's like when I look at Jinder Mahal, all I see is a fucking jobber from 3MB. That's what Jinder Mahal is. When you look at Rich Holland, what do you see? Brawling brutes. That's all he is. He never had any opportunity whatsoever to legitimately establish himself in NXT. Rich Holland has always been a background player in NXT. And then when he got up to the main roster, he was a background player to Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes. That's what Rich Holland's role is. No disrespect to him. I want the best for him, and I want to see everyone succeed. But Rich Holland is a background player, and he will always be a background player. The storyline going in with Rich Holland right now, where he's reportedly taking time off and he's stepping away from in-ring competition, this storyline, I will give them a little bit of credit. It's new, it's creative, it's something different, but at the same point in time, is anyone really invested in Rich Holland? How many people are legitimately talking about Rich Holland? No one. No one is. People want to say that, AEW's dying. Meanwhile, NXT can barely break 550,000 viewers on a Tuesday night. NXT right now is the most unimportant show of the week, the most lackluster show in the entire fucking industry. And Rich Holland, listen, as creative and different as this new retirement angle storyline is, Rich Holland, with all due respect, he's a background player. He was a background player in NXT to Pat McAfee. He was a background player on the main roster to Sheamus. No one is legitimately invested in Rich Holland. I try to be fair, I really do. But when it comes down to it, sometimes you just got to call a spade a spade. Rich Holland's going nowhere. Now, let's go to Drew McIntyre for a minute. According to PW Insider, Drew McIntyre has told those that are very close to him that he still hasn't locked in a new WWE contract. Now, some people that are within the WWE, they believe that a new deal was already struck weeks ago. But the word from his camp is that nothing has been signed, and his family is going to be a major piece that either sways his decision to stay with WWE or sways his decision to leave the WWE, or at least just take some time off rather than going to another company elsewhere. I feel like we've been talking about Drew McIntyre for a year now. Ever since WrestleMania 39 was over. Feels like all we've been doing is discussing Drew McIntyre. We've been talking about Drew McIntyre for God knows how long now, right? Every other week, there's a report on Drew McIntyre. He hasn't signed the new deal. He has signed the new deal. He's thinking about going. He's thinking about staying. I can't remember if I talked about this the last time, but at this stage of the game, I think it's time that we just sit back and wait. Drew McIntyre right now is a very, very unpredictable subject. I don't know what's going to go down. Now, if you take a look at what's going on television, many people would look at what's going on TV and think to themselves, well, Drew McIntyre, he's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. He's going to win the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. He's pretty much all but confirmed to have either signed a new deal or he's going to sign a new deal. Unless Damian Priest is going to cash in his Money in the Bank contract. Damian Priest is still there. And I can definitely see a potential outcome being discussed at WrestleMania where Damian Priest, he could do the same thing that he did back, or he could do the same thing that Seth Rollins did, He could do the same thing that Seth Rollins did back at WrestleMania 31 with Roman and Lesnar. He could cash in, make it a triple threat, and we could get an epic WrestleMania moment and a great full circle moment for Seth Rollins. I've been talking about this for God knows how long. A great full circle moment for Seth Rollins. You live by the cash in, you die by the cash in. Damian Priest cashing in, beating Seth Rollins, protecting Drew McIntyre. I mean, I certainly wouldn't mind it because I don't want that Money in the Bank briefcase to go to waste. Putting it on Damian Priest, if you think about it, they may have wasted their time with Damian Priest if he ends up failing. Should have given it to LA Knight then. Should have given it to LA Knight. But Damian Priest, you've elected to give him the Money in the Bank briefcase. You can't just fuck that up. You can't just let that slip through your fingers. You can't have it go to waste. The Money in the Bank concept has gone to waste way too often. And I'm really fucking sick of it. I really am. Money in the Bank has not felt important since Moxley won it back in 2016. It has been nearly 10 years since we got a legit, and I mean a legit, Money in the Bank winner that was booked correctly and utilized correctly in terms of the cash-in. So I really hope that they don't fuck over Damian Priest. I really hope that they don't. But Drew McIntyre, again, very unpredictable scenario. We don't know if he's staying or he's going. And to be quite honest with you, it's looking more and more likely that he's going to stay. Because if he doesn't win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, after everything that's been going on, after the first two times that he lost, and the fact that Punk went down with injury, unfortunately, robbing us of Punk versus Rollins, you got Drew McIntyre slotted in there as a backup plan. Drew has to win. If he doesn't win, at this rate, it's all but confirmed that he's leaving. But again, he's doing the best work of his WWE run thus far. I don't know. I do not know. It's a very, very unpredictable scenario. I cannot give you a straightforward answer. And I'm the guy that has all the answers. I'm the guy that has all the answers. I don't got an answer. I really don't. It's a wait-and-see type of deal with Drew McIntyre. How you doing, Hooligrim? You like the new layout? Like the hashtag up there, and Storms We Trust. By the way, people, please send in your super chats. Send in your super chats. Send in your super stickers. Send in your super thanks. And by the way, I do have combs. I do have combs in the works. You're going to get custom made DJ Storms combs. It's going to say good on the comb. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. In addition to that, I got some new t-shirts coming on in. I got a new order of DJ Storms t-shirts, the logo, and on the back it says, I am inevitable. I got some 2XLs coming in. I got some Ls, some XLs, some 3XLs. So please, if you guys are interested in a t-shirt, if I have not gotten you a t-shirt, please hit me up. You can Venmo me the money for the shipping and the actual t-shirt, and I will be sure to send you one. I already got Mr. Wesley Landon Woosley over on X. He recently just ordered one. I know that James Ponaseka has one. I know that Sarah Hapka, she's got one. So guys, if you don't have one, hit me up. It's vital that you do so. And send in those super chats. Send in those super chats, super stickers, and super thanks. Moving on here. NXT Battleground. Battleground for NXT last year took place on May 28th, the same exact date as AEW Double or Nothing 2023 last year. And I will admit, last year, NXT Battleground was actually a very good show. It actually had little glimpses of NXT Black and Gold on there. I loved the main event with Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. That was actually a better main event that they put on at Stand and Deliver last year. We also had Dijak and Ilya Dragunov in a last man standing match, which was awesome. Wesley, Joe Gacy, and Tyler Bate, they had a triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. And Tiffany Stratton and Lyra Valkyria, they fought to crown a new NXT Women's Champion. So I remember last year's Battleground being very good. WrestleVotes, they tweeted out an update in regards to NXT Battleground, which is NXT's next premium live event that is going to be taking place in the summertime. They tweeted, and I quote, "Hearing rumblings of a significant schedule change, I'm told the NXT Battleground event will be moving off of May 26th to June 9th, with the location shifting as well from Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia will no longer host the show. NXT Battleground will take place live in Las Vegas at the UFC apex. End quote. I got no issue with this. I got no issue with this at all. Matter of fact, this is actually much better. It's much better because it gives the WWE a pay-per-view in June. It gives NXT a little bit more time to build towards the show, and it puts a lone spotlight on NXT Battleground rather than having Double or Nothing overshadow it. So I don't have a single issue with this, and I'm sure many of you don't have a single issue with this, although many of you probably don't even watch NXT anymore. I do, because I need to make myself aware of what's going on, and in addition to that, I do still cover their pay-per-views. I don't cover their weekly shows anymore, but I do cover the pay-per-views or premium live events, whatever the fuck you want to call them. But Battleground, I almost said Battle Zone, I don't know why. Battleground, they're moving from May 26th to June 9th. Can't really say that I have an issue with that. Battleground moving from May 26th to June 9th. This will only do the WWE and the NXT brand good. Not to say that NXT is going to gain a surge of followers, because the NXT brand, let's be honest, the NXT brand has been dead since September of 2021 when they rebooted it. After the Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams storyline is over, what do they have going for them? Even with great wrestlers and great talent like Lyra Valkyria and Tony D'Angelo and the OC are now down there, and Ilya Dragunov, Dijak, so many other individuals. Are you really going to give a shit? I'm not. But at the same point in time, I will admit that I'm glad that Battleground is moving dates, because it's going to give them a lone spotlight rather than being overshadowed by Double or Nothing, and it's going to give WWE a nice pay-per-view bridge for NXT in the month of June. MJF. Some people have been wondering, where has MJF been? MJF has been radio silent. He's been radio silent since he was beaten for the AEW World Championship. And he lost the title to one Samoa Joe. The real final boss of professional wrestling. Fuck The Rock. Samoa Joe beat MJF to win the AEW World Championship on December 30th, 2023 at World's End, which resulted in Adam Cole revealing himself to be the devil, and the Undisputed Kingdom was born, and they took out MJF. He has not been seen or heard of ever since. He's been very silent. PW Insider, they reported that even though nothing has been made official yet, there is a belief that I'm still thinking about NXT Battleground, there is a belief that MJF will continue to be a top fixture of the All Elite Wrestling brand. Reason being is because a day after AEW Big Business, he actually met with the company officials to possibly begin talks for a new contract. Although we do not know when he would be returning if he does agree to a new contract, because as we speak, he is currently rehabbing a torn labrum injury. We do not know the severity of the injury. We do not know if he plans or if he doesn't plan to get surgery. We do not know if he's just going to rehab it and hope it heals naturally. No one knows what is going on. MJF has kept his mouth shut. Now, I have been thinking about this. And I have been going over in my head what the deal is with MJF and everything that's going to be going down with MJF going into the future. I don't see him going to WWE yet. If he is to go to WWE, it is certainly not going to be now. Some people have even said that they believe that MJF has already signed a new deal going into 2027. Now, if he hasn't, at this rate, MJF is not showing up anytime soon. If MJF has not signed a new deal, he is not showing up in WWE now for one very specific reason. The man is injured. So you need to put it out of your head that MJF is showing up at WrestleMania, and MJF is going to be on the Raw after WrestleMania, and he's going to be on Monday Night Raw feuding with Cody Rhodes for the World Championship after Cody finishes his story. Put it out of your head. The man tore his fucking labrum. That shit does not heal within a few weeks with a couple of stitches and glue. It doesn't. MJF is going to spend time. He's going to spend time rehabbing correctly because MJF, he wants to get back to 100% because he wants to give 100% and then some when he steps back into the ring. MJF is a guy that always gives more than he really needs to. MJF is the furthest thing from a lazy and complacent individual. MJF is exactly what a pro wrestler should be. And when MJF comes back, it is going to be a very big deal. When MJF comes back, he is going to really take AEW by storm again. He's going to reignite that rivalry with Adam Cole. We're going to get ourselves a blood feud. Maybe it results in a blood and guts match. Who knows? But as we speak right now, MJF, he's not coming back anytime soon. At least it doesn't look like that to me. The man is still rehabbing. Now, what's going to go down with a new contract? We don't know. Is there still things for MJF to do in AEW? Yes. Yes, there's plenty, and I mean plenty of things for MJF to do in AEW. I would love to see MJF potentially go after the TNT title. I would love to see him mix it up in the mid-card a little bit, maybe for the International Championship. I'd love that. Maybe MJF, he gets into a program with guys like Ospreay and guys like Okada. I know for a fact that there was a lot of people that are going to want to see that. But as we speak right now, he's not coming back. However, I do believe that he's going to remain with AEW. MJF doesn't have a reason to go to WWE now. MJF reportedly met with company officials for AEW to discuss a new contract a day after Big Business a couple weeks back. I stated once and I'll say it again. MJF, as we speak right now, he doesn't have a reason to go to WWE, especially when there is a lot, and I mean a lot left for him to do in AEW, whether it be going after the TNT title, whether it be going after the international title, competing in the Continental Classic, feuding with guys like Ospreay, feuding with guys like Okada. Maybe we get another match with Omega. There's plenty, and I mean plenty more for MJF to do. Some people believe he's already signed a new deal. I wouldn't be surprised if he has. But if he hasn't, he's not going anywhere as we speak because the man is still injured. He is rehabbing a torn labrum. But as we speak right now, it's very, very hard for me to believe that MJF is going to be leaving AEW when there is still so much for him to do. Moving on here. Let us talk about Becky Lynch. Let's talk about Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch confirmed on the MMA Hour podcast with the bitch, Ariel Helwani. Fucking pussy, Ariel Helwani. She stated that she has 2 months left on her current WWE contract. And as we speak, there have been no reports regarding Becky Lynch signing a new deal at this very moment. You know, I talked about this a couple months back. I talked about Becky and Rollins. Becky and Rollins and how their contracts are coming up around the same time. I said that if there's one thing that could drive them out of WWE, it could very well be CM Punk. However, it seems as though that has gone out the window because CM Punk, he's been on his best behavior. He's getting positive reviews from backstage, and Rollins and CM Punk are getting along backstage. Although I wouldn't really say that they're getting along. I would say that they're remaining professional, but I would bet more money than I own. I would bet more money than I own that Seth Rollins legitimately does not like CM Punk. However, all I see here is a company in WWE that trusts Becky Lynch. It's like AEW with Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland is not going to go out and go back to WWE just because they reached out to him. He just put the phone right down. Matter of fact, I would not be shocked if he was the one that told Tony Khan that Triple H was being a fucking asshole and trying to contract tamper with AEW back in 2022. But Becky Lynch, I can't really see her going anywhere. And it's not because of the fact that she would fail elsewhere. It's because of a very specific reason. Becky Lynch right now, she doesn't need to continue to wrestle. Becky Lynch could retire tomorrow. She is a made woman. She'll go into the Hall of Fame. And if you don't think that herself and Seth Rollins have saved up a shit ton of money to a point where all they need to do is their fucking wrestling training school and they'd be just fine. If you don't think that Becky and Rollins have saved up their money properly, I mean, I think you may be a fucking idiot. Becky Lynch is not financially irresponsible. You can just tell by the look of someone whether or not they are financially irresponsible. Ric Flair, back in the day, Ric Flair was financially irresponsible. CM Punk, I don't think that he's financially irresponsible, but some people were saying he is. I don't believe that. I think CM Punk has more than enough money than he needs. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, they're not financially irresponsible. They're two of the highest paid wrestlers in WWE right now. Becky's issue, I feel as though it's the same thing that Seth Rollins has. I truthfully do not believe that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, I don't believe that they are as passionate about the sport as they are used to. Or they were once. I do not believe that they are as passionate about professional wrestling as they once were. Not to say that they're lazy, not to say that they're complacent, because they give more than what they need to give in that ring. They give it all when that bell rings. And that is something that I respect. That is something that I enjoy when I watch pro wrestling, and that is something that everyone should enjoy and respect when someone gives much more than they need to give when it comes to that bell-to-bell wrestling, because that bell-to-bell wrestling is what makes pro wrestling great. Fuck the soap operas, fuck these stories, arguments, fuck all that. Pro wrestling is unique because of that bell-to-bell action. Fuck the promo packages, okay? Fuck the interviews. The bell-to-bell action is where it's at. But I truthfully do not believe that they care about professional wrestling like they really do. I do not believe that they are as passionate to go out there and test themselves and explore other ventures. I honestly believe that they are just comfortable. They're just comfortable where they are. See, in pro wrestling, you can either be a Seth Rollins or you could be a Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, clear as day, I look at Jon Moxley and I see a man that has infinitely more passion than Seth Rollins does, because Jon Moxley doesn't want to be restricted to one world. Seth Rollins is an individual that is just complacent with himself when it comes to being in an environment. He has a platform. He can do whatever the fuck he wants within the guidelines, of course. He's a multimillionaire. He's easily one of the most decorated individuals in the entire pro wrestling industry today. Same thing with Becky Lynch. And they don't need to do as much. They don't need to go out there and test themselves as much as they would usually do, rather than if they were in Jon Moxley's position. Jon Moxley, he doesn't give a shit about the glitz and the glamour and the grandeur. He doesn't give a fuck about money. All Jon Moxley gives a fuck about is going out there and wrestling. I don't get that vibe from Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. This is not something that they love anymore. Again, not to say that they're complacent, but it's more of a job to them than it is a passion. And that right there is something that I really fucking hate about the pro wrestling industry. I fucking hate people that look at this shit as a job rather than a passion. Because me, do you realize what I would fucking give if I would have the opportunity to do this, I would gladly give up my left leg, my left arm, my left eye, my left testicle. I would give up a fucking lot if I had the opportunity to do what Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are doing. I don't give a fuck whether it's in front of 50,000 people or 50 people. I fucking hate people that are not passionate about the sport. But again, her choice. Her choice if she wants to stay where she's at. I do not think that Becky Lynch is leaving. I don't. I think that Becky Lynch is going to stay right where she is. WrestleMania. Not WrestleMania 40. We're not going to talk about WrestleMania 40. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania 40 next week. I actually got a report on WrestleMania 41. What's going down with WrestleMania 41? WrestleMania 41, as we speak, it is being discussed. No announcement has been made on where WWE is going to host WrestleMania 41. However, Fightful Select has indicated this week that Minneapolis, Minnesota, is now the front runner to host WrestleMania 41 in 2025. Some people were actually claiming that it was going to be in Allegiant Stadium. It was going to be in Allegiant Stadium, the same place that hosted SummerSlam 2021, and we were going to get Allegiant Stadium playing host to WrestleMania 41, just like Allegiant Stadium was the host of the Super Bowl this year. Apparently, Las Vegas is no longer the front runner to host WrestleMania 41. It is now Minneapolis, Minnesota. Multiple government officials dropped hints suggesting that the imminent announcement of a major event is upon them. However, nothing has been confirmed as we speak. Now, I don't give a fuck where WrestleMania is. I really don't. Some people may care because if it's close to them, they're going to want to go, and that's completely fine. But if I'm going to be completely honest with you, this is a completely meaningless report. It's a meaningless report to me because there's only one thing that matters to me. I don't give a fuck where you host WrestleMania. I don't give a fuck if you host it at the fucking dump. I don't give a fuck if you host it in a fucking bathtub. I don't give a fuck if you host it in my backyard. I don't give a fuck if you host it in a fucking pig pen. I don't give a fuck if you host it in the fucking deserts of Abu Dhabi. I don't give a fuck where you host it. Just give me a good show. Just give me a good show. That's the only thing that should matter to anyone. But no, apparently it revolves around much more than just putting on a quality show for people that just claim to be fans. And trust me, I got a fucking rant on that as we get deeper and deeper into the show. We'll talk about that as we get into the weekly show reviews. We're going to go over 4 weekly shows. We're going to go over 4 weekly shows. Very 50-50 week this week. Very 50-50 week for wrestling. Raw was very good. Dynamite was very good. SmackDown and Rampage, completely fucking worthless. Tale of Two Cities. Not a good night for Friday Night Wrestling last night. My final report, and I know a lot of people have been wondering, well, what do I mean by the caption of the stream? WrestleVotes. They tweeted out something very interesting on the day after Monday Night Raw this past Monday. As many of you know, we saw The Rock, the secondary final boss. We saw The Rock viciously beat down Cody Rhodes in the parking lot of the Allstate Arena, leaving him in a puddle of rain and a pool of his own blood. He took out a belt that said Mama Rhodes. Took out a belt that said Mama Rhodes, and he smeared it with Cody's blood. He whipped Cody viciously with the belt. Rock left him in a puddle of rain and his own blood. Fans conveniently pointed out a production truck in the background, and this is what the virgins of social media do, the virgins that have absolutely no job, the virgins that have absolutely no life, the virgins that have no friends. This is what these people do. That all they have time to do is search on the internet to come up with all of these Illuminati-like conspiracy theories. Let me tell you something. When we're talking about the Illuminati conspiracy theorist bullshit, let's leave that to when it comes to the government, because the government's a fucking piece of shit. But when it comes down to pro wrestling, all these people do is come up with these conspiracy theories. However, this one time, the conspiracy theory may very well be correct. There was a production truck in the background of the beatdown. So WWE conveniently shot The Rock beating down Cody Rhodes. And in the background, we saw a production truck that showcased two WWE legends on it by the names of John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin. WrestleVotes took the time to tweet out, and I quote, "Everything is done on purpose. 2 weeks out from WrestleMania, the backdrop of these WM-specific trucks last night would have sufficed. I'll leave it at that." End quote. In addition to that, it was actually reported on Thursday by PW Insider that WWE has indeed reached out to Stone Cold Steve Austin about making an appearance at WrestleMania 40. There was even a report on Thursday this week that they reached out to Hulk Hogan too. Although I'm not sure what Hulk Hogan will be doing at WrestleMania other than doing a preliminary video package for the two-night event as a whole. But some people were coming up with these theories that we could have an Avengers Endgame moment. We're going to have an Avengers Endgame moment where we're going to see all of these individuals that are connected to Roman Reigns and The Rock, all these individuals that have a past history with The Rock and Roman Reigns and the bloodline. They're all going to come together in a moment where they're all crossing through all of these interdimensional portals, like fucking Endgame, where we had at least 20,000 fucking superheroes, 20,000 different fucking superheroes come on in, and they all attacked Thanos and his army. John Cena, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, all these individuals, they're directly connected to The Rock. John Cena's connected to Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins is connected to Roman Reigns. Jey Uso is connected to Roman Reigns. We're going to have an Avengers Assemble moment. Supposedly, all of these individuals could very well show up, according to the conspiracy theorists, and they could aid Cody Rhodes in winning the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Now, I will say this. Would that be a great moment? I'd probably have to say yeah. I'd probably say, yeah, that would be a good moment. That would be a fun moment. That would be rather intriguing. That would definitely be a very, very, very newsworthy moment. That would certainly suffice as a WrestleMania moment. However, again, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in right now if I didn't call out what needs to be called out. And I'm going to call out a lot of things here. Is it me? Or does it feel like WWE is getting way too desperate when it comes to Cody Rhodes? Is this a desperation move after what happened on Monday Night Raw, where Cody Rhodes was clearly booed? Not by a lot of people, but by a good portion of the WWE audience in Chicago. Cody was booed. Cody was booed. Is this all done by design because WWE wants to manufacture and build up Cody Rhodes in the same fashion that they built up all these fucking major baby faces going into the future? People like Hulk Hogan, people like Stone Cold, people like John Cena, where it becomes nauseating. Although I can't really say it became nauseating with Stone Cold because Stone Cold was not around for as long as Hogan and Cena were around for. But it really does seem like a very manufactured passing of the torch type of moment. It really does. It feels like it's going to be a manufactured passing of the torch type of moment because WWE does not rely on Cody Rhodes himself to get himself over, or they're just trying to push Cody Rhodes in everyone's face and claim, hey, here you go. Here's the next guy. You see what's going on? Hogan and Cena and Stone Cold, they all approve of him. You need to approve of him too. WWE never really lets anything happen naturally. I don't know. I truthfully don't know how this is going to go down. It's a very 50-50 type of deal. There's some good, there is some bad. At this rate, though, I know that a lot of people are going to be saying, well, look, as long as the title's off of Roman, and you know what? To a certain extent, I'm at that point too. But at the same point in time, I am of the mindset of, well, we shouldn't be at this point. We shouldn't be at this point in time, and we wouldn't be at this point in time if WWE had just done the right thing and given Cody the championship last year. Because again, whether you want to admit it or not, and I will continue to say this until everyone gets it through their thick fucking skulls, Roman Reigns has outlived his usefulness. Roman Reigns is not doing anything for the WWE product. Roman Reigns is not a draw. Roman Reigns is not driving up any merch sales. He's not driving up ticket sales. He is not doing shit. Especially not with the very, very significantly light, matter of fact, you could say it's a non-existent schedule. He just shows up whenever he fucking wants to show up. The non-existent schedule that Roman Reigns has ruined the World Championship, the main event scene on SmackDown, and the entire company. Whether you want to admit it or not, that is the truth. WWE is not selling out arenas because of Roman Reigns. They're not selling out arenas because of The Rock either. The Rock is not a draw anymore. There is no such thing as a draw in 2024. The age of draws are dead. A draw is an individual that millions of people will clear their schedule to sit in front of a television and watch, or you could say it's an individual in which thousands of people will drive across the country. I'm talking about an individual that makes someone drive from California to New York to go sit in an arena and watch them perform, watch them talk, watch them wrestle. That is a draw. Are people really doing that for The Rock nowadays? Of course not. How many of you in this chat have driven across the country to go watch The Rock at a show? How many of you have? I'm talking about in recent years. I'm not talking about 20, 30 years ago. I'm talking about within the last 3 to 4 years. How many of you have actually done that? I will bet all my money and say 0. I'll bet all my money and probably win when I say 0. The Rock is not a draw anymore. There is no such thing as a draw. Not in 2024. Do you know why? Do you know why WWE is selling out arenas? And I've stated this before, but some people still don't fucking get it. WWE is selling out arenas for 3 specific reasons. Number one, the fans are excited for the future of the company because now Triple H has full creative control. This is the first time that Triple H legitimately has full creative control, although I'm not sure how much longer that's going to last, considering that The Rock could very well take over the company and we could get something along the lines of a Vince McMahon light when it comes to Dwayne Johnson. But number one, the fans are excited for the future of the company because Triple H is in charge. That's number one. Number two, WWE is well organized and structured. Everyone knows exactly what they're going to get. They know who they are going to see on Raw and SmackDown. Now, I've said it once, I'll say it again. The brand split needs to fucking end. But at the same point in time, the WWE does a very good job at structuring their shows to a point where everyone knows who exactly is going to be on what shows. And then number three, and this is very important, number three, WWE has the best, and I mean the best, promotional and marketing skills in the entire fucking world. You do realize that they have hundreds of individuals, literally hundreds of individuals in marketing teams, and they are sent out to all these different markets, up north, down south, east, west, down in Australia, across the pond in the UK, fucking France, Puerto Rico, Mexico, all these fucking places, these marketing teams are sent, right? And these marketing teams, you know what their job is? Their job is to fucking plunger, and I mean fucking plunger that show down everyone's throats and shove it in everyone's faces, because it's natural human nature when someone sees something or hears something a lot, they go to themselves, you know what, I've been hearing about this a lot, or I'm seeing the promotional poster for this a lot, maybe I might go check it out. And then when one person checks it out, then some other people see that individual go checking it out, and then those people follow. And it's a game of following the leader. That's how it works. WWE is not hot right now because of Roman or Rock or anyone. There's no such thing as a draw. And they're not hot because the shows are objectively good. The majority of WWE shows this year have been lackluster at best. That's a fact. And again, I'm going to state again, you can like whatever the fuck you want to like. You can support whoever the fuck you want to support. I'm not telling you can't enjoy the show. Go and enjoy the show. Enjoy the shows until your fucking heart gives out. It's not going to affect me in any negative way. However, just because you enjoy something doesn't mean it's objectively good. Because when it comes down to it all, the thing that separates me from everyone else shares opinions. Well, I spit facts. I tell you the truth. Not my truth, the truth. Because I am the guy that knows all when it comes to pro wrestling. Enjoy what you want. I'm just going to tell you what it is that you are supporting or you're not supporting. You could say you enjoy a show all you want, and it would be perfectly fine. Everyone's entitled to it. Everyone is entitled to enjoy what they want to enjoy. But I am also entitled to come here on my show, my fucking show, and tell you the truth. And that's exactly what I will do. Exactly what I will do. Sooner you realize, people, that when I'm in front of the camera, I have no conscience is the day that it will become easier for you to coexist with me. All I see is red right now. And I'm not talking about my shirt. Where was I? I completely lost my train of thought. Cody Rhodes. I was on the topic of Cody Rhodes. On the topic of Cody Rhodes getting back up. I don't know what they're going to do. There's some good, there's some bad. At this rate, I don't give a fuck what they do. At this rate, I don't give a fuck what they do. Actually, Eva Marie actually has pink hair now. I guess it's all pink everything. Doesn't have the same ring to it. I don't give a fuck what they do with Cody. The only thing, what the fuck is maroon? It's fucking dark red. It's dark red, Jess, okay? Maroon, dark red. I ain't got the time to memorize all these fucking colors, okay? I take 20 pages worth of notes. 20 fucking pages worth of notes for the entire week when it comes to wrestling, okay? You think I got time to memorize shirt colors when I'm doing that and I'm working a full-time accounting job? Fucking maroon. I'll give you maroon. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I think it's time we move it. Let's go to the weekly show, shall we? Crimson. Mid-Mo Spark says Crimson. I actually like that better. I think I'm gonna use that going forward. It's Crimson. Everyone's gonna be wearing the Crimson mask. Jess is texting me. I'm dying laughing. What the fuck are you laughing about? Listen, I am a funny guy. I know. I'm a very funny guy. I know. I have the power to make everyone laugh. Just ask Coolagrim when I pulled out the modern day Kakaraja. Yes, Final Hoss. Another thing that's red is Monday Night Raw. We're going to talk about Raw. Monday Night Raw this week. I have to admit, Monday Night Raw this week. Finally, after God knows how many weeks, finally, we got ourselves a very good show. We got ourselves a very, very, very good episode of Monday Night Raw. However, I do have some questions I would like to pose. Monday Night Raw this week was very good. We got some very good promos. We got some damn good wrestling. We got a nice fluid show, and I greatly appreciate that. We got a nice hot crowd. Why was that, though? Why did I pull out the modern-day Kakaraja? Because I was insulting Jinder Mahal. So the story of this, I was insulting Jinder Mahal and all the fucking people that think that Jinder Mahal has any value when he doesn't. And then all I did was say, Jinder Mahal is a fucking failure. Jinder Mahal absolutely sucks. So if you support the modern-day Maharaja, you can suck my modern-day Kakaraja. I should have trademarked that shit. Really should have trademarked that shit. But Monday Night Raw, again, very good show. Great wrestling, very nice, flowing show, great crowd, good promos. The questions that I have is, number one, where was this show 4 weeks ago? Why exactly are they waiting 2 weeks? Now we're a week away. Why were we waiting 2 weeks before WrestleMania? 2 weeks before WrestleMania to actually give out some substance on a weekly TV show. We should have gotten 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes of that version of Monday Night Raw that we saw this past Monday every single week coming out of the Rumble. Why didn't we? That's a question that I have. Why didn't we get substance on every single episode of Monday Night Raw? Why is it that now WWE is just starting to put effort into everything else that's on the card, minus the mega tag team match on night 1? And number 2, is it too late? I don't know about you, but there's really nothing that WWE can do that's going to get me any more hyped up for WrestleMania than I already am. All I am going based off of is the card. Because this build for WrestleMania has been awful. This year's build for WrestleMania has sucked. Fact. The one thing that I'm going based on is the card. Because I take a look at the card, I look at the card up and down. Card looks great. Card looks fantastic. The card, if they play their cards right, it could very well be one of the best WrestleManias of all time. But the build, man, WWE has not done WrestleMania 40 any favors with this build. Cody Rhodes kicked off the show. Everyone knows good old Cody Rhodes. Adrenaline in my soul. I got my ass beat by The Rock. Oh! There were a few boos. There were a few boos for Cody. And we're going to talk about, let's talk about that for a minute before we get into what happened with Cody later on in the show. There were a few boos for Cody. More cheers, obviously, but there were a few boos. And I want to tell you why. Do you know why you heard a little section of the audience booing Cody Rhodes? It's because WWE has booked him like shit. But of course, there's going to be a bunch of fucking idiots that are going to come out of the woodworks and say, oh, you see? The fans are the problem. The fans are the problem, and they turn on people at the drop of a dime. No, you fucking morons! Cody Rhodes was booed on Monday Night Raw. Slightly. More cheers, but there were a few boos. Cody was booed because of how he's been booked. When I tell you that Cody Rhodes has been booked like shit, he's been booked like shit. Look at everything that has happened coming out of WrestleMania 39 last year. Never mind that. Never mind that. Look at how he's been portrayed coming out of the Rumble. Cody Rhodes has been made to look like a fucking pushover at every step of the way. They didn't even have him fight back against The Rock during the closing segment of Monday Night Raw. When you book someone like shit, the fans are not going to take to him. Cody Rhodes has done nothing to convince the audience that he is worthy of taking the world title, and it's starting to catch on with the crowd. And everyone needs to acknowledge that. I am really sick and fucking tired. You know what? I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm tired of being right all the time. I am tired of being right all the time. For once, I would like to be proven wrong. Yet no one has been able to. Very, very sick and tired of being right all the time. So, Cody Rhodes, he came out, same shit, different week. He says he respects Roman. Oh, yeah, he respects Roman. But then he goes, I hate his guts. Ooh, you hate his guts? Really? He goes, this year, I can't do this alone. He then asked the fans to point to the sign with him. And I'm going to be the champion that you deserve. Right now, I'm pretending to be the champion because the champion isn't here. All of a sudden, The Rock comes out. Surprise appearance by The Rock. I felt nothing, by the way. I was not hyped at all. Crowd was chanting, holy shit. WWE censoring it. Obviously, WWE's incredibly uncool. I cannot wait until we're on Netflix and we can stop censoring all the fucking curse words. So, WWE fans were chanting, this is awesome. Then they chanted CM Punk. Rock put his hands behind his back, whispered something to Cody Rhodes, and then just left. And the crowd chanted, Rocky sucks. So let me ask you this. WWE can't even be bothered to give us a promo battle? It's like they're fucking teasing us. It's like they're a fucking older sibling. They're a fucking older sibling that's dangling a fruit roll-up snack over our heads, and every single time we try and reach for it, they pull it away. It's like that fucking, what was it, that fucking State Farm commercial with the guy with the dollar on the fishing hook. Oh, you almost had it. Oh, you gotta be quicker than that. They can't even be bothered to give us an actual promo battle. And here's another thing. Let me ask you this. Wouldn't it have been better in execution if we didn't have this promo to kick off Raw? Wouldn't it have been better if the CM Punk promo kicked off Raw and then we didn't even know that The Rock was in the building until the end of the show? If we were going to get the end of the show like we got it, if we were going to get The Rock beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes to end Monday Night Raw like we did, why did we need the opening segment? Why did we need the opening segment? A lot of people have been wanting a promo battle with The Rock and Cody. Why haven't we gotten an actual promo battle with The Rock and Cody? Matter of fact, why haven't we gotten an actual promo battle with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns? I don't understand. I really do not understand the logic behind this opening segment. All you needed to do was keep The Rock hidden until the end of the show. It's not like The Rock would have made a difference anyway. Monday Night Raw was already sold out. They promoted this shit like a motherfucker. Raw was already sold out. Why exactly did we need The Rock to come out on Monday Night Raw when in reality no difference would have been made if they just kept The Rock hidden until the end, because then that would have been a genuine surprise. But The Rock showing up at the end of the show to attack Cody Rhodes, in the beginning it felt flat. It got better as the brawl went on, and it got better to end the show. But The Rock staying hidden for the whole show and then showing up out of nowhere to attack Cody, that would have been better in execution than having this ridiculous fucking segment where Cody Rhodes, again, just repeats the same shit over and over again, ultimately for The Rock to put his hands behind his back, pretty much daring Cody Rhodes to hit him, and Cody Rhodes, like a pussy, doesn't even take a swing. So Rock made Cody Rhodes look like a pussy not once, but twice in the same night. Yeah, great booking of Cody there. Ricochet versus JD McForehead. JD McForehead and Ricochet. This was actually a very good match. Very good match. Probably the best in-ring match on the show. Really, really, really good stuff right here. And JD McDonough continuing to showcase why he is one of the best, and I mean one of the best, underutilized individuals in the entire WWE. They have not booked JD McDonough correctly. JD McDonough is essentially the Judgment Day's jobber. Ricochet, he ended up winning this match with a shooting star press. Shooting star press. And JD was actually standing up. Shooting star press to a standing JD, which looked amazing. I'm going to state, once again, there is absolutely no reason why WWE weekly shows should not have matches like this from top to bottom. We need matches like this from top to bottom. If we do not get matches like that from top to bottom with the roster that WWE has, I'm sorry, but WWE is not doing their job correctly. There should be no such thing as a show, a wrestling show in WWE with a roster like that. There should be no such thing as a show that has only one match that everyone should go back and watch. The show should be littered with bangers, because that's what pro wrestling's all about. CM Punk. CM Punk came out to address the crowd. He talked about hosting WrestleMania and saying that he wishes it was in Chicago, hint, hint. He said that he should referee a match. Punk talked about Roman Reigns and how he made comments on Pat McAfee's show. He talked about Rollins discussing him while he was wearing high heels. He talked about The Rock and how his arms were just too short to box with God. I love that line. That was one of my favorite Punk lines ever. Drew McIntyre then came out. Punk then said, hey, cut his music. He then told Drew to get his bitch ass in the ring. Crowd chanted CM Punk. Drew reminded Punk about how he injured him. He said that now we're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. I'm in CM Punk's hometown with CM Punk's in the ring. Man, this is divine intervention. So Punk said he never had to put another man's name on a t-shirt in order to sell it. Drew McIntyre said, this was probably one of my favorite lines ever of Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre said, it's quite ironic, CM Punk, because you're straight edge, and yet you spend all of your time in rehab. That's a great line. That was probably one of my favorite lines of the entire year when it comes to promos. That was a fantastic one-liner from Drew. Drew said that Punk completes him. He said that Punk motivates him. Punk then demanded that Drew come in the ring. Drew said he wants Punk to have a front row seat for his match at WrestleMania. Punk then said, you know, at one point in time, you were the chosen one. Who chose you to be the chosen one? Obviously, it was Vince McMahon, but Drew McIntyre wasn't going to say it. Drew then said Punk should commentate at WrestleMania and watch him have his moment at WrestleMania in front of live fans. Out came Seth Rollins. He stood face to face with Punk. Rollins did his usual shtick. Rollins then called Drew and Punk children. Punk then said, you know, it may be your show, but it's my city, Rollins. Rollins then got in Punk's face, and he asked if Punk should do commentary. Crowd chanted referee. Punk then said, listen, I couldn't be objectively fair with these two dipshits. Drew McIntyre goes, PG, brother. Rollins then said he doesn't think anything of CM Punk. He says that he needs him to have a moment at WrestleMania. And this is as close to a world title as you'll ever get again. Just stay out of my way. Punk then said, it's decided. I'll go sit next to my buddy, Michael Cole, and I'm going to do some commentary. And I'll do something that the both of you couldn't do. I'm going to make you both interesting. Now hit my music. That was actually a shoot right there from Punk. And I'm going to talk about that because I'm going to tell you the problem that I had with this. So Drew then said that the people in the truck should not be playing Punk's music. Punk walked away and he recited a line from Eminem's Stan song, and he goes, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. You're my biggest stan. Write me back just to chill. This is Phil. All of a sudden, we get Rollins super kicking. I'm actually laughing at that line. That was. I don't know how Drew said that shit without laughing, because that's fucking hilarious. So Rollins then super kicked Drew and then gave him a stomp, and that was pretty much that. Now, the promo itself was excellent. I don't think anyone is going to debate that. I would be a complete Nimrod if I was to tell you that this promo wasn't excellent. This promo was awesome. All three guys bounced off each other perfectly. It was just a perfect storm. It was just a perfect storm, and the three of them, it's like they were fucking meant to be intertwined in this storyline. Now then, here's the problem with this. And I don't care whether or not you want to admit this or not, but this needs to be said. If I didn't say this, then I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. It is absolutely pathetic. And I mean, it is pathetic that it took an injured CM Punk. I repeat, an injured CM Punk. It took an injured CM Punk in order to make the World Championship match at WrestleMania interesting. It took a man in a fucking arm brace to give us any sort of substance when it comes to Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. You want to know what my problem is with WWE? That's my fucking problem. You want to know why I shit on WWE a lot? And in recent months, really. The fall was great. The fall season of WWE was awesome. But do you want to know why I've been shitting on WWE a lot this year? That's why. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre should have had their own spotlight for the last 7 weeks now. I don't give a fuck whether it was a backup plan or not. I get that you had to pivot. Punk got injured. It was never going to be Drew and Rollins. It was going to be Punk and Rollins. I know. I'm not stupid. I get that Drew and Rollins was a backup plan. But that doesn't mean that you needed to give us as lackluster of a build towards this match as you have. Instead of putting all your fucking eggs in the mega tag team match basket, how about you actually give Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre something to work with? How about that? Because as far as I see it, all they've been doing is reciting the same fucking lines over and over again as they were when they were feuding back in October going into Crown Jewel and December going into Raw Day 1. All they've been doing for the last 4 weeks coming out of the chamber when Drew won the chamber, all they've been doing is repeating the same shit that they've been saying for the last 6 months. I'm sorry, I can't get behind that. I cannot get behind utter laziness. You want to know what my problem is with WWE? They're lazy. All they do is put effort into a minimum of 8 or 9 people. If your name isn't Rock, if your name isn't Roman, if your name isn't Cody, if your name isn't Rhea, if your name isn't Becky, Drew McIntyre has been doing great work. But at the end of the day, all he's been doing with Rollins is reciting the same shit that he was reciting back when they were feuding in the fall and the winter. They have given us nothing of substance with Rollins and Drew up until this past Monday. It took CM Punk, who's been on the shelf for 2 months, it took Punk in order to give a nice little spotlight to Drew and Rollins. I am sorry, that is absolutely inexcusable. Drew and Rollins should have been a staple. Ever since Punk got injured, you should have had the wheels rolling, and Drew and Rollins should have been a fucking staple throughout all of WrestleMania season. And you know what this is a byproduct of? This is a byproduct of not only WWE's laziness, but this is a byproduct of WWE letting The Rock go in there and just take over the whole entire Mania season build. The Rock has sabotaged WrestleMania season, and not for the better. Those are the facts. That's the truth. You don't like it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you think, because at the end of the day, I'm right, and you fucking know it. I'm right, and whether or not we end up getting a great match at WrestleMania, and I'm sure we are, whether or not we're going to get a fantastic WrestleMania, you know, everyone fucking knows that deep down, the soon-to-be 25-year-old asshole from New Jersey was correct about the pro wrestling storyline being shit yet again. Maybe all of you need to start listening to me. If y'all started listening to me, your time as professional wrestling fans would be spent a lot more wisely. Instead of being fucking marks, you would be valedictorians. Instead of being fans, you would be graduates of the School of Stormsology. People need to start listening to me more often. You listen to me, your brain will grow in terms of intellectual intelligence. you don't listen to me, you will continue to be a clueless mark. I hate using that term. I really do. But that's what y'all are. Excellent promo. An excellent promo. But WWE should not have to rely on an injured CM Punk in order to give a spotlight to Drew and Rollins. Inexcusable. Candice LeRae and Ivy Nile. By the way, CM Punk's promo, it went a lot longer than it should have gone. Exactly, there you go. Final Hoss. Fuck Chase U. Fuck Chase U. We're talking about Storms U. Ivy Nile and Candice LeRae literally went 90 seconds. 90 seconds of Candice LeRae and Ivy Nile. Candice LeRae wins. As if anyone's going to still give a shit about Candice LeRae if you can't give her more than 90 fucking seconds. DIY in the New Day. This is where Raw started to go downhill a bit. DIY in the New Day. This match ended via a disqualification because the Judgment Day came in, caused a DQ, and laid out all the teams that were out there. By the way, Awesome Truth was out there too. WWE couldn't help themselves, huh? They had to do a DQ. WWE just couldn't fucking help themselves. Andrade, he took on Giovanni Vinci. This was better than his first debut match, I will say that, but it was a pretty standard match. Should have gone another 7-8 minutes, and it didn't. Should have gone another 7-8 minutes, and it didn't. Andrade wins with a new finisher. He calls it The Message. It's a double underhook neckbreaker. Rhea Ripley came out with Dominic Mysterio. She said that she feels like she's not getting enough attention. Oh, really? You do? So do I. You haven't been getting enough attention. Your women's title reign, minus the last 2 months, your women's title reign has been shit, Rhea. So I agree. You have not gotten enough attention. So, Rhea Ripley said that she decided to be respectful. But she's getting impatient. Dom tried to speak, but he got booed, obviously. Becky then came out. Becky called out Rhea Ripley for confronting her after a 20-minute match. Rhea said, "All I need to do is post a pic or video online, and all of these freaks would eat it up." Becky, and this is where I really loved what Becky did here. Becky said that is the problem. Yes, it is, Becky. Becky was dropping some truth here. We have two very different outlooks on what a champion is. You post your ass on social media. I bust my ass in the ring. The long-term game in this business is merit. Rhea then said Becky is a survivor, but she calls her something different. She calls her a cockroach. She says that I want you to be alive so that way you can sit on your couch and after WrestleMania, you can sit next to your daughter and watch her call me mommy. Becky then said to never mention her daughter again. This is where Becky started to get angry. She goes, "My dad never got to meet my daughter. So that may be a joke to you, but that is not a joke to me. You didn't attack me because you wanted to be respectful. You didn't attack me because when you throw the first punch, you know that there is no going back. And after WrestleMania, neither of us will ever be the same again." Dom then got in her face, and then he got punched by Becky. Dom goes down, Rhea and Becky, they go at it. The referees had to actually come out to separate them. Very good promo, but again, I have to ask the question, where was this weeks ago? Why didn't we get this? This should have been at least the third great promo that we should have gotten between these two. This is the fourth promo. This is the fourth promo that we've had between Becky and Rhea. And this is the first promo out of the four that has any substance. The last three promos were as standard and bland as you could get. Where was this shit 4 weeks ago? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable how WWE, they stuff everything they need to stuff in on the last 2 or 3 shows before WrestleMania instead of spreading things out. Seriously. Sami Zayn and Bronson Reed. This was a pretty solid match here. Sami Zayn ended up losing. He ended up losing because Gunther came out, distracted him. Sami hesitated to hit Bronson Reed because he was looking at Gunther. That gave Bronson Reed the opportunity. Gave him the opportunity to go out there and clothesline Sami, hit Sami Zayn with a big lariat, and then drop them with a tsunami splash, and Bronson Reed wins the match. They seem to be playing the sympathy card. They seem to be playing the sympathy card for Sami Zayn. Now, I do have to ask, are they doing this specifically because they want to get some babyface steam on Sami after the backlash that he suffered? Because people wanted Chad Gable to win, but yet Sami Zayn ended up getting the win? I don't know. It certainly seems like they're doing this because they want to counteract the people that want Chad Gable, and they want to make people feel sorry for Sami Zayn and root for Sami Zayn to actually get the win. Jey Uso, he took on Shinsuke Nakamura. Very disappointing match. Main event was very disappointing. Matter of fact, you may as well have not even done the main event. Shinsuke Nakamura looked like a complete fucking bum. Jey Uso wins with a spear. Afterwards, we had Jimmy and Solo coming out. Rollins came out to aid Jey. Cody Rhodes was in the back. And he was attacking Jimmy and Solo as well. All of a sudden, The Rock comes out of nowhere. Rock is throwing trash cans at Cody. The brawl then spilled into the parking lot. It was raining. He was tossing Cody Rhodes into the production truck. Cody started bleeding. He then started whipping Cody Rhodes with a belt that said Mama Rhodes. And he just started whacking Cody. He then took Cody's blood off of his forehead, smeared it onto the belt, and said, "This is what happens when you fuck with the final boss." Obviously, it was censored, and The Rock left Cody Rhodes in a puddle of rain and his own blood. This was probably the best ending to Monday Night Raw that we've seen in the last 12 months. Probably the best ending to Raw that we've seen in the last year. This was beautifully executed. However, again, wouldn't be where I am if I didn't question. Can I please pose this question? I want to ask, why has WWE gone out of their way to book Cody Rhodes as poorly as they have been? Where is the fucking teeth from Cody? Why have we not gotten that vicious Cody Rhodes? Why have we not gotten that legit, gritty, raw, and passionate Cody Rhodes? This Cody Rhodes is fucking cookie cutter. Cody Rhodes, again, he was made to look like a pussy twice in one night. He was made to look like a complete fucking pushover. When is Cody Rhodes going to get his pushback going into WrestleMania? You can't just build up one individual and then neglect the other individual. You can't make one individual look like a beast while the other individual looks like a fucking bum. You can't do that. You cannot do that. That is fucking terrible booking. I'm serious. I cannot fucking stand WWE's portrayal of their babyfaces. WWE's portrayal of their babyfaces is the worst in the fucking industry. You're telling me You are fucking telling me that Cody Rhodes would not look even better than he is now if they booked him like Will Ospreay? You're telling me that Cody would not look as good as he is right now if they booked him like a Jon Moxley? Jon Moxley is the picture-perfect presentation of a badass babyface. Why isn't Cody portrayed like that? Especially in a feud like this! I ask all these questions. And yet WWE does the same shit over and over again. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Nevertheless, it was a very good show. I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying. It was a very good show, well put together, very good promos, very good wrestling. I just hate the fucking fact that they waited this long to give us some substance, and the booking of Cody Rhodes has been a complete fucking miss. That's beyond a miss. The booking of Cody Rhodes has been detrimental to the highest extent. Very good show nonetheless. I can't really sit here and say it was bad. We're going to go over 3 more shows, and then we're going to get on out of here. I know we are approaching 2 hours rapidly. I usually stream for quite a while. Got to get my watch hours up. Got to make sure they stay up. And we got to make sure that everyone is well aware of whose world that they're living in. And it's DJ Storms' world. Let's talk about Dynamite. Let's talk about Dynamite here. Dynamite. Excellent show. You could say it was a little mini pay-per-view. It was a little mini pay-per-view on AEW Dynamite. A show full of great matches. And we see that AEW Dynasty is starting to take shape. And St. Louis is going to get one hell of a show. We're going to get ourselves a damn good show on April the 21st, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And above all else, I appreciate the fact that they have been a lot more focused. March has been a great month. March has been a great month for AEW. Probably AEW's best month since September of 2021. I remember that was the month where they had Grand Slam. That was the month where CM Punk made his return to wrestling. And then we had Ruby Soho and Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson all coming in at the same time. It was good shit. It was really good shit. Dynamite kicked off with Will Ospreay and Katsuyori Shibata. This was a great wrestling match. Not as crazy as the Will Ospreay matches that we've seen in the past. The match with Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, I mean, those 2 matches were beyond fucking insane. But this match was a little bit more slowed down. Will Ospreay obviously needed to slow his pace down to match Shibata's pace. But at the same point in time, not every match could be 1,000 miles an hour. But this was a great wrestling match nonetheless. A little bit more toned down. But at the end of the day, that is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world at all. Sometimes it actually makes for a little bit better of a match sometimes. So, Ospreay, he was in control early on with a big springboard forearm off of the barricade, and then a springboard forearm in the ring for a 2 count. Coming back from commercial, we had Shibata with the chops and a hesitation drop kick. We had a snap German suplex being traded between Shibata and between Ospreay. STF by Shibata. PK missed. Shibata caught Ospreay, and then both men traded strikes. We had a kip up and an enziguri by Ospreay, which looked great. Sleeper hold by Shibata, and then a sleeper suplex. Ospreay fired himself up, hit a springboard drop kick, and an Oz cutter. Shibata kicked out at 1. Both men traded strikes. We had a backdrop driver, and a hidden blade. Shibata kicked out. Will Ospreay said, all right, enough of this shit. I'm putting this motherfucker down. He hits a Tiger Driver 91 and then a hidden blade, and Ospreay beats Shibata in what was a great wrestling match to kick off the show. Again, not anything as crazy as the last couple of Ospreay matches, but this was a very good match nonetheless. And Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson, they seem to be caught in a game of one-upsmanship. They are caught in a game of one-upsmanship, and we could very well see Ospreay and Bryan steal the entire fucking year. And we thought that Takeshita and Will Ospreay was good. Just wait until Dynasty. We had a great promo package for Bryan Danielson, narrated by Excalibur. He talked about Bryan's journey and his injury. It was very well put together. Talked about how Bryan, he molded himself into the best technician in the world when it comes to pro wrestling, and pretty much explained why it is as important as it is that Bryan Danielson beats Will Ospreay at AEW Dynasty. It was very well done. Very well done, and I was very, very pleased to see that they are really dabbling into video packages a little bit more. So I hope that they continue to do that going forward. We got ourselves Private Party and the Young Bucks AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament qualifier, or quarterfinal match, quarterfinal match in the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament. And this was a great match again. I would say that this match was actually better than the first match. And above all else, I'm very, very happy to see that professional wrestling in the tag team division in AEW again, tag team wrestling is back at the forefront. Tag team wrestling is back at the forefront of AEW TV. And what they're doing right now, they're doing some great shit. Private Party and the Young Bucks, they put on one hell of a tag team match. Not as good as their first match, but they did a lot to make sure it was damn close. And this was easily the best match out of the tag team tournament thus far. And I'm very, very, very much looking forward to seeing what else comes from this tag team tournament, because we got the east side of the bracket going down on Collision tonight. I believe we got FTR versus the Infantry, and then we got Top Flight versus Ricky Starks and Big Bill. So we got some nice quick action early on. Private Party with double tope suicidas. How you doing, Danielle? Very nice of you to drop by. By the way, Danielle, hit the super chats and the super stickers and the super thanks over on YouTube. Got to make sure that a lot of people are aware that they could donate to the StormsMeister now. Or at least make sure you share out all of the links. And make sure that you tell everyone that I'm live, because everyone needs their dosage of DJ Storms. Without me, are they really living life? Of course not. So, Nicholas Jackson delivered a Falcon Arrow off of the barricade to Mark Quinn on the floor, which looked absolutely devastating. That got a big pop. Devastating shit right there. So back in the ring, the Bucks were in control. Cassidy with a side effect. Tag was made. Quinn, he got a breather. Cassidy lit up Matthew. Nice enziguri. Springboard moonsault on Nicholas by Isaiah Cassidy. Springboard crossbody for a 2. Crowd was chanting Private Party. The Bucks then with a powerbomb Shiranui combination, which looked very, very nice. That got a 2 count because Quinn saved it. German suplex by Matthew. German suplex on the apron to Quinn. They went for the Tony Khan driver, but Quinn rolled up Matthew for a 2 count. We had a gin and juice connected. Nick was gone. Private Party hit more bang for your buck, and Nicholas was able to save it. Nicholas brought in the ring bell. Rick Knox tried to stop him. Matthew with a low blow. Mark Quinn hit Matthew with the ring bell regardless behind the referee's back. and then Nicholas put Matthews' foot on the ropes. Mark Quinn went for the 630 senton, but he missed it. He missed it. The landing looked fucking nasty. He missed the 630 senton, and the Bucks then took advantage. And they hit the EVP trigger, although it was a rather sloppy-looking EVP trigger. Nicholas had a misstep. Nicholas clearly slipped up. The ending did not look good at all. Very, very sloppy. But nevertheless, it was a great match, and the Young Bucks advance in the tournament as expected, and it seems as though the Elite are going to be built up as a top-tier heel faction with Okada as the Continental Crown Champion and the Bucks as the AEW World Tag Team Champions. Great match. Sloppy ending. Again, not Nicholas's fault, but it's clear as day that there was a slip up there. It was almost as if there was a little too much perspiration on the mat. Renee Paquette. She interviewed Chris Jericho and Hook. Jericho said that he's proud of Hook, and he's very, very happy that he has come as far as he has come. Jericho then offered Hook free advice going forward. Hook said he was skeptical. Jericho said, I know who you are, and I know who you can be. Now, I know a lot of people are really sick of Jericho in these nonsensical storylines because as we speak right now, Jericho just feels like he's done everything and he's not that good of a babyface. However, I do want to pose this question. Where is Hook going right now? Where is Hook going? Is Hook really going to be a world champion anytime soon? Is Hook going to be a TNT champion or an international champion anytime soon? No. The championship scenes for many of the titles are occupied right now. They're occupied. So why exactly would Hook be inserted into a championship match as we speak? Why? As we speak right now, Hook is in no way, shape, or form ready for a major AEW championship. He's not in that position yet. You can sense when someone is ready. And as we speak right now, it's not that Hook is not ready from an in-ring perspective, but from a vibe perspective. You can just sense the vibe around Hook. And a lot of people would rather see other people like Ospreay and Okada and Daniel Garcia and Adam Copeland. They'd rather see those individuals on the show rather than Hook. That's not a knock on Hook. There's just people who are ahead of him. So as far as we see it right now, a feud with Chris Jericho is not gonna hurt anyone. A little program with Jericho is not the end of the world. Plus, if this results in a heel turn for Chris Jericho, that's only good. Because Jericho is a great heel. Jericho is much better as a heel. We'll see what happens, but I can sense the heel turn incoming. The ladies, they got a showcase tonight. It was Chris Statlander, Anna Jay, Sky Blue, and Willow Nightingale. Number one contenders match to see who is going to face Julia Hart at AEW Dynasty. Mercedes Moné, she was on commentary, and there are people that are as stupid as to say that Mercedes Moné is ruined and they've destroyed Mercedes Moné. She doesn't feel special anymore. I'm not sure if these people are just trying to troll or they are legitimately retarded. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. Do you have any fucking patience? Seriously, do you have any fucking patience? Mercedes Moné is not going to feel like a mega star within 2 weeks of AEW. She just got there. She legitimately just got there. You need to give her time. Give her 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And then, after she actually has some time established underneath her belt, then we can go and revisit this shit. Please, please. You people are making yourself look stupid. Mercedes Moné is doing just fine. Would I have her not wrestling? Would I have her doing commentary? Probably not. I would have had her already wrestling. But at the same point in time, you have to wait. You have to wait, be patient, let things play out. You cannot base someone's status in AEW or WWE. You cannot base their status off of 2 weeks. You need to give them time. You need to base their status off of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months. You need to base their status off of the next 10 matches, 11 matches, 12 matches, 13 matches that they have. You cannot base anyone's tenure out of 2 weeks in a new company. Adam Copeland is doing great right now. They did the same fucking thing with Adam Copeland. They did the same thing with Adam Copeland. And look at him. Adam Copeland is doing great shit. And if you're telling me otherwise, you're a fucking idiot. You're a retard. I don't give a shit. You're exactly what's wrong with the community. Adam Copeland's doing great shit on AEW right now. He's been aiding the young talent. His feud with Christian Cage resulted in multiple great matches, one specifically at World's End, and then the I Quit match last week. We're going to get a Cope Open tonight. He's going to give new people opportunities. We could see new matches that we never thought we'd see Adam Copeland wrestling in. We could see Adam Copeland in matches with the likes of Penta and the likes of whoever else. Eddie Kingston we could see. Maybe Ray Phoenix, Powerhouse Hobbs. We're going to get Adam Copeland versus Kenny Omega one day. A lot of the young guys are going to want to work with Adam Copeland. Daniel Garcia. We could see a rematch with Daniel Garcia. Why would you complain about that? Why are you basing everything that you see off of a 2-week period with Mercedes Moné? Very stupid on your part. Very, very stupid. And if you're offended by this, I'm talking to you. The ladies delivered a very good match for what it was. Would I have done this match? Probably not. I probably wouldn't have done this match, and I would have actually stuck to the rankings because we actually got new rankings that came out. However, I will say this. I will give Tony Khan credit for this. All 4 of the individuals in this match had direct connection with Julia Hart. So it's not just a random match. All of these individuals have had run-ins with Julia Hart. Sky Blue is paired with Julia Hart. Chris Statlander was the individual that Julia Hart won the TBS title from. And then you got Willow Nightingale, who's looking to gain the TBS championship. And then Anna Jay, her and Julia Hart were friends back in the day. And Anna Jay was beaten by Julia Hart 2 months ago, back at Battle of the Belts, number 9. So there is history with all of these 4 women and Julia Hart. Now, Mercedes Moné won. Or Mercedes Moné didn't win. Excuse me. She wasn't involved in the match. Willow won. Mercedes Moné was on commentary. Willow Nightingale got the win here. That was the right outcome. That was absolutely the right outcome. They did what they needed to do there. And now, Willow will be challenging Julia Hart at Dynasty. Now, I don't know what's going to go down at Dynasty, but this is where my head is at. It seems as though that they are having Mercedes and Willow at odds. I'm not sure if this means this is going to result in Mercedes Moné fighting Willow for the TBS title if Willow wins. I'm not sure if this is going to result in Mercedes Moné costing Willow at Dynasty. I don't think Willow deserves a short title reign. I really do not want Willow to be a transitional champion for Mercedes. That would be fucking awful. I'm sorry, that would be terrible. However, and this is where my head is at. If Willow Nightingale is going to fight Mercedes, and we're going to get ourselves a TBS championship match where Mercedes is going to win the TBS championship. Could AEW potentially be setting up the biggest women's match that they've ever done at All In with Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné, TBS champion versus AEW Women's World Champion? Could we see Mercedes Moné walk out of All In with the TBS and the AEW Women's World title and be the first ever women to be a double women's champion in AEW? Is that what we're looking at? Listen, I'd hate for Willow to be a transitional champion, but that would be a rather interesting route to go, and that certainly would put Mercedes on a pedestal. I mean, you want to capitalize on Mercedes Moné and her star power, that's certainly a way to do it. Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta versus the Undisputed Kingdom. Another very good tag team match. Tag team wrestling. Very, very happy to see that tag team wrestling's back at the forefront. And 2024 has been a very, very, very good year for the tag team division. Been a very good year for the women's division too. So this ended with Trent Beretta getting the win here. Wardlow was nowhere to be found. I don't know where Wardlow was. I do not know where the fuck Wardlow was. Matter of fact, if anything, Wardlow should have been out there. Wardlow should have been out there because it would have made things a little bit better. It would have made things made a little bit more sense if Wardlow was out there and Wardlow was the reason why the Undisputed Kingdom lost rather than them losing and Wardlow was nowhere to be found. Regardless, the best friends get the win. I expected that to happen. I expected that to happen because the best friends, they are the best possible team to go up against the Young Bucks next week. And in addition to that, you're not going to have the Undisputed Kingdom in that position because the Undisputed Kingdom, they already have 2 sets of championships to worry about. They already have the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles to worry about, and they got themselves the International Championship in the hands of Roderick Strong. But Wardlow should have been out there. Wardlow should have been out there to continue that story. On Collision tonight, we also got Claudio, Bryan, and Shibata versus Lance Archer and The Righteous. Now, that should be one hell of a match. Very much looking forward to that. Speaking of one hell of a match, Swerve Strickland and Konosuke Takeshita. #1 contenders match to see who was going to fight Samoa Joe at Dynasty. Holy shit. Holy shit. I'm telling you, Takeshita, as we speak right now, I don't give a fuck who wants to argue with me on this. Konosuke Takeshita, in my eyes, is making a strong case as to why he should be considered for Wrestler of the Year. He's my Wrestler of the Year right now. It's him and Ospreay. Him and Ospreay are my #1 and #2 for top 2 best wrestlers of the year so far. Konosuke Takeshita is an absolute fucking machine. Japanese Terminator, I call him. That man, he looks like he could wrestle for 2 hours straight and he would not even break a fucking sweat. It is unbelievable how awesome Konosuke Takeshita really is. And Swerve Strickland too. Swerve Strickland's right up there. And you know what I loved about this? They made sense of this through the rankings. Tony Khan stated that these two are 5-1. These two are 5-1 in 2024. So the winner gets Joe. Even in a loss, Konosuke Takeshita comes out there and Konosuke Takeshita shows you that he's a fucking superstar. That's what I love about Takeshita. So Takeshita, he was in control here with a big Tope Con Hero over the top. Crowd was chanting AEW. Both men fought on the top buckle. We had a DDT out of the corner by Swerve and a spiral tap. I'm actually quite disappointed that Excalibur didn't call it spiral tap. But yes, Swerve delivered a spiral tap. And I love a good spiral tap. Crowd chanted, "This is awesome." We had a Poison Rana and a Blue Thunder Bomb by Takeshita, one fluid motion, which looked amazing. Swerve answered back with a right hand. High knee by Takeshita. Rolling flatliner by Swerve for a 2. Swerve with the Swerve stomp on the apron. Crowd chanted, holy shit. Powerbomb by Takeshita. Rolling German. And a V-trigger. 1, 2. Swerve kicked out. Swerve was able to kick out. We then had Swerve hitting the house call and the Swerve stomp again. 1, 2. Takeshita kicked out. Swerve then with a headbutt. Takeshita with a high knee. Swerve with a standing mushroom stomp. Standing Swerve stomp, if you will. Then he hit the JML driver, or what he is now calling big pressure, and Swerve wins it 1, 2, 3. Excellent fucking match. Takeshita, I don't give a fuck. Whoever wants to argue with me, go argue with a fucking wall. Takeshita is the wrestler of the year. Takeshita is the wrestler of the year. There is absolutely no one that is putting on as good of matches right now as Takeshita. The only individual that is Will Ospreay. He is the only one that is matching Konosuke Takeshita in terms of bell-to-bell action. Both of those two, aptly named, they are all elite. Excellent show. And March, easily AEW's best month of TV since September of 2021. The Friday night wrestling. Not all that good. Not all that good. I'm pretty much going to skim through the 2 shows on Friday because there's really nothing to talk about. Jade Cargill made her debut on SmackDown, and it looks like Jade Cargill, she's got herself a WrestleMania match. She's going to be teaming with Naomi and Bianca versus Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Dakota Kai of Damage Control. We're going to see how she performs, but WWE is really doing the bare minimum with Jade Cargill. They really are trying to manipulate the minds of the fans to think that Jade Cargill doesn't have to do anything other than just stand there and pose. Listen, I don't give a fuck if Jade Cargill looks like a Greek god or not. If she can't fucking wrestle, then you know what? I don't want anything to do with her. She better be able to fucking wrestle. That's all I'm going to say. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, they fought pretty deadly to kick off the show. Very standard tag team match. They didn't really do anything. And I mean, why would they? They're this close to WrestleMania. Pretty Deadly ended up getting the win thanks to Logan Paul, because Logan Paul knocked out Kevin Owens behind the referee's back. Pretty Deadly got the win. Owens then pointed out that Logan Paul was hiding underneath the ring. And then Orton and Owens, they went after Logan Paul. Logan Paul fled through the arena. And then Logan Paul drove away in a car. It's actually very hard to watch a match like that after what the Bucks and Private Party did on Dynamite. How is it that we can get a tag team match like what we got with the Bucks and Private Party on Dynamite, right? But yet we can't even get a match that was 1/15 of what that match was between Orton and Kevin Owens, who are bigger stars, and then Pretty Deadly, who are actually a very good tag team if you actually give them the opportunity. But yet we get a very standard house show-esque tag team match. I'm sorry, but that is pathetic. That is pathetic. Io Sky, she had a promo package discussing Damage Control, stated how Bayley wanted to take all the credit for their success, how she made Bayley relevant, and how they just kept her around, and they ended up outgrowing Bayley. She says that she'll regret seeing Bayley as a friend for the rest of her life. Bayley then came out of nowhere and attacked Io, and there were people in the back that had to break it up. Good promo package, but I really don't understand why they waited. Again, why did you wait this long? Why did you wait this long? Why didn't you give us more substance several weeks ago? Really don't get it. Do not get it whatsoever. I don't. Nick Aldis. He introduced Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, she finally put pen to paper. Very, very lame promo. Very, very scripted promo. Same exact typical way that WWE always presents their talent. WWE just overly scripting everyone. If your name is not The Rock, if your name is not Roman, if your name is not McIntyre, if your name is not Becky Lynch, just over scripting people right down to the very last letter. Very, very lame, very, very disingenuous promo, and it was overall extremely lame. And even though she did what she did in the end, Jade Cargill, as we speak right now, not really off to that good of a start. But then again, I'm going to wait and see how things play out. We're going to see how she is in the ring, because as we speak right now, we got ourselves a long way to go with Jade Cargill. This is only her second legitimate appearance. How you doing, Lisa? Hope that you're having a very, very, very good day, and I hope that you have a happy Easter tomorrow. Street Profits. They took on Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory ended up getting the win here because Karrion Kross and the Final Testament, they came up on the television screen showcasing that Bobby Lashley and B-Fab were beaten down. They were beaten down in the backstage area, causing Montez and Dawkins to look at the screen like a bunch of fucking idiots. And we ended up seeing Austin Theory roll up Montez Ford. And that was that. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are going to WrestleMania. And we had ourselves the Street Profits looking like a bunch of morons. And that was pretty much that. Afterwards, after this faulty ending, the AOP, Karrion Kross then came out to attack. Lashley came out too, and Karrion Kross just laid out Bobby Lashley. This program has absolutely no heat. No heat. And this is another thing that I've stated that WWE has a problem with. WWE does not know how to book their undercard. WWE does not know how to distribute the effort evenly. WWE does not know what they're doing when it comes to booking the rest of the fucking show if your name is not Rhea Ripley, Becky, Rock, Roman, Cody, Rollins. And even then, they still don't know how to book guys like Rock, Roman, Cody, Rollins, Rhea, and Becky. This program actually started out pretty decent, but this shit should have ended at the Chamber. We should have gotten the Final Testament versus Lashley and the Profits at the Chamber. And then we should have moved on to something else going into WrestleMania. We need something else. These two factions have been feuding for 3 months now. 3 months. And no one gives a shit. Legado del Fantasma. They came out. Santos Escobar came out. He thanked Dominic Mysterio. He said that he was right. He apologized to Dominic Mysterio before Rey Mysterio and the LWO came out. Rey said that it's a real shame that they have to go back and do this all over again. I thought that I was done fighting my son, but clearly you want to be a part of it. So now I have the opportunity to beat some respect into both of you. So how about you two and a partner of my choosing in a tag match at WrestleMania? Rey Mysterio then brought out the newest member of the LWO, Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee is the newest member of the LWO. Here's what I will say. I am happy. I am very happy that Dragon Lee is getting a showcase at WrestleMania. But this feels like a SmackDown match. This feels like a SmackDown match put on WrestleMania. If anything, what they should have done is they should not have wasted Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar last week. You should have given Rey and Santos a spotlight at WrestleMania itself. You should have given Santos and Rey a spotlight at WrestleMania by themselves, and you should have done the same thing that you did with Dominic going into last year's WrestleMania, and Santos should have gotten a victory over Rey Mysterio at this year's WrestleMania. It should not be a tag team match. I'm sorry. WWE, again, putting the wrong matches on pay-per-view. Again, I am sure that it's going to be a great fucking show. I'm sure WrestleMania is going to be awesome. But I really, really, really fucking hate that they have to switch things around and move things around that didn't even need to be moved around to begin with. New Catch Republic. They took on Legado del Fantasma. This was a pretty decent match. Really nothing all too crazy. New Catch Republic ended up winning, and we got ourselves the full card for the WrestleMania Tag Team Ladder Match. It's going to be Judgment Day defending against DIY, Awesome Truth, New Day, New Catch Republic, and Waller and Theory. Should be one hell of a match. That much I will say. Should be one hell of a match. God forbid. God fucking forbid the Awesome Truth win. God forbid. AJ Styles, he came out to address the crowd. He talked about LA Knight invading his home. He talked about how he could have had LA Knight locked up in jail, but he's got bigger plans. He says that he's going to expose him for the overachieving, under-talented piece of trash that he is. He then was looking around for LA Knight. He looked for LA Knight as a cameraman, but it turned out the cameraman was actually a cameraman. He looked for a guy in the crowd, but it was just some guy in a hood. All of a sudden, you see a security guard start taking his hat off. He took off these fake glasses, and then he took off a wig, and it was LA Knight. LA Knight then attacked AJ Styles, did his usual catchphrase, and LA Knight is all set to fight Styles at WrestleMania. Now, here's a question that I want to ask, and I've been asking a lot of questions throughout this stream. You listen to that reaction for LA Knight, right? You listen to that reaction for LA Knight, and you're telling me that he doesn't belong in the United States title picture. You have a SmackDown match in LA Knight and AJ Styles put on WrestleMania instead of giving us LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the U.S. title and giving LA Knight a legit WrestleMania moment. I'm sorry, but I cannot get behind that. I can't. I cannot get behind that. That is fucking terrible. That is lame. Bianca Belair and Dakota Kai. Really nothing of substance here. Bianca Belair wins with a KOD. Naomi came out. Kabuki Warriors attacked. Jade Cargill came out. Punt kick to Dakota Kai. A punt kick to Asuka. Pop-up powerbomb on Kai. Jaded on Kyrie. That was pretty much that. Really nothing all too crazy. We got ourselves a six-man tag team match at WrestleMania. All I'm going to say is, same thing I said, she better be able to wrestle. If she is not, then you know what? We are going to have a problem, because I am not going to sit here and support Jade Cargill being pushed as a major deal. I am not going to support Jade Cargill being pushed as a big time, and I mean a big time superstar, if she cannot wrestle. Because let me tell you something. WWE loves to push people out there and give them these megastar entrances and shit like that. And then the WWE fans are quick to pull down their pants, start pleasuring themselves to said individual, and say, oh my God, it's a big star. Oh. No, Jade Cargill is not a big star. Not yet. Jade Cargill and superstardom is not determined by looks. Superstardom is not determined by entrances. You know what determines whether or not you're a fucking star? If you can put on a 5-star fucking match. You can't? You ain't no fucking superstar. Bryan Danielson's a superstar. Mercedes Moné's a superstar. Chris Statlander's a superstar. Will Ospreay's a superstar. Cody Rhodes is a superstar. Drew McIntyre's a superstar. Seth Rollins is a superstar. Jay Cargill's not a superstar. Please, get that out of your fucking head. Stop basing stardom on looks and entrances. If you are not a great wrestler, you are worthless in the wrestling business. Unless you want to be a manager. If you can't wrestle like a fucking pro, then you know what? You are worthless from an in-ring perspective, and you are not a fucking star. Go cry into your fucking pillow. Very lame and lackluster SmackDown. Rampage was not all that better. Rampage was not that much better. This was probably the most worthless Rampage of the year thus far. And that's actually pretty sad. Because you take a look at Rampage last week. Last week's Rampage was fucking great. Last week's Rampage was probably the best Rampage in the last year. And then we get to this week's Rampage, and it's like AEW just completely took the week off. It's like they just completely neglected the show that they put on Wednesday and gave you absolutely no substance on Friday. This was a show full of enhancement matches. A show full of enhancement matches that did nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, to enhance anyone but the individuals in the ring. It was probably the biggest setup show that I've ever seen. There was nothing going on, no substance, no energy. You know what it reminded me of? I watched this episode of Rampage after what happened last week on Rampage, and it was like last year. It was like last year's WrestleMania, right? Last year's WrestleMania, where we had a great two-night event for WrestleMania 39. WrestleMania night number 1 and night number 2. Two great events. Two awesome events. And a great overall show. One of the best WrestleManias that we've seen in recent memory. Last year's two-night event, right? And then on the Raw After Mania, that Raw After Mania last year was one of the worst Raws of all time. That's the vibe that I got from this. After a great Rampage last week, you go into this week's Rampage and you give us nothing. No energy, no substance. Dustin Rhodes, he took on the Butcher. Was it a bad match? No, but all this was a match to help enhance Dustin Rhodes, because more likely than not, Dustin Rhodes is going to be a challenger for one of the mid-card championships. I'm assuming it'll probably be Roderick Strong and the International Championship, which I wouldn't mind. We need to get Roderick Strong defending that International Championship sooner rather than later. Bullet Club Gold. This was probably the best thing on the show. Bullet Club Gold invaded Billy Gunn's house. Jay White came out with a golden baseball bat, and he was knocking shit over. They were throwing trash on the floor. And then, all of a sudden, he was getting ready to smash the TV, and Billy Gunn walked through the door. Billy Gunn walked through the door, and he goes, "What the fuck?" And you see him curse, but it was bleeped out. Bullet Club Gold then drops the camera. You hear him swearing left and right, and they get out of Dodge. They get out of Dodge. Now, I would love to see more packages like that. This is exactly what Bullet Club Gold should be. This is exactly what Bullet Club Gold should be. Bullet Club Gold is out there, and Bullet Club Gold is just being pricks. Bullet Club Gold is being pricks. And the more that I see Bullet Club Gold being a prick, or being a group full of pricks, that's better television for me. So if anything, if there's one thing that I would tell you to go back and rewatch, go spend 2 minutes of your time and watch this promo package with Bullet Club Gold. Jay White is a fucking mastermind at what he does. And you know what's great about this? After they beat the Acclaimed and they win 2 sets of trios titles, after they beat the Acclaimed, Jay White has a shoo-in feud when Darby Allin comes back. Darby Allin, he should be back within 2 months after he broke his foot. If he's back in 2 months, guess what? You got a feud and a storyline with Jay White and Darby Allin right then and there. Simple. Deonna Purrazzo, she took on a woman named Rhodes. Pretty standard stuff. Although this should have been quicker. This went way too long. This match went way too long. Way too fucking long. But this was done for no other reason other than to help enhance Deonna Purrazzo. This was done because Deonna Purrazzo is probably going to be fighting Thunder Rosa, and that's going to be an unofficial number one contenders match. And then the winner of that match will go on to face Toni Storm at AEW Dynasty. Nikita, another jobber. She took on Mariah May. Mariah May won the match. Pretty simple, straightforward. Again, nothing more than an enhancement match. I will say this, though. I am severely disappointed that we did not see a V-trigger by Mariah May, because Mariah May has a great V-trigger knee. That is a fantastic move that Mariah May does. Angelo Parker, he attacked Soraya's brother, Zach Knight. Ruby Soho was disappointed in him, and she told him that she no longer wants to be a part of this. Not really sure what's going on here, but this storyline remains irrelevant and inconsequential. And then in the main event, Roderick Strong competed in an eliminator match. It was an eliminator match with Daddy Magic Matt Menard, and Roderick Strong ended up getting the win. Pretty standard match right here. Nothing all too crazy. Roderick Strong gets the win with a high knee. That was that. Cassidy and Beretta, then came out to run off the Undisputed Kingdom before the Bucks came in, delivered low blows to Cassidy and Beretta, and then delivered an EVP trigger. That was pretty much that. Easily the most worthless episode of AEW Rampage in the last 365 days. Rather disappointing seeing how good the show was last week, and I really like to hope that Tony Khan's going to use this as a blueprint to not get complacent. Do not get complacent. We want effort. All we're looking for is effort. All we're looking for is substance. Give us some effort and give us some substance, because episodes like this for Rampage, that is lame. I'm sorry, that is incredibly lame, and we should not be subjected to very bland and very boring, and I mean very bland and boring episodes of any wrestling television show, especially a show that is a very easy show and should be a very easy show to produce, like AEW Rampage. That's all I got for you, people. Over 2.5 hours. We are finished up, and it is the final LFU of March before we get ourselves a huge, and I mean a huge weekend. Next weekend, it is going to be big, and we got ourselves a couple of collaborations. I got John Blaine. John Blaine is going to be joining me next Thursday for the rundown for Supercard and Stand and Deliver. And then we got Hooligram. Hooligam's coming on my channel in the afternoon, Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Special 3 p.m. Eastern Time stream. It's going to be Hooligram and myself, and we are going to preview and predict both nights of WrestleMania 40. Then next Saturday, no LFU next Saturday. It is going to be a very special dual rewind. A dual rewind for Ring of Honor Supercard and for Stand and Deliver. It is going to be good. A lot of fun stuff going on. Then next Sunday, it's the rewind for WrestleMania Night Number 1 with my good friend Billy Ann Wolf. And then we got ourselves the rewind for WrestleMania Night 2 on Monday, April 8th at 2 p.m. Plenty of good shit coming your way. Do not, and I mean do not, miss a single moment of it. Till next time, I am DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. But, as always, you already know the drill, people. Everyone must know who runs the IWC, and I think you know what the answer is. The answer is who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. Don't you ever forget it.
Retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.